guys, my name is Jenna Redfield, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 tips that you should avoid when going to networking events. Okay, so the first tip is to not get stuck talking to the wrong person. Now, this might happen a lot where you go to a networking event, you start talking to someone, they're either boring or maybe they don't fit with what you're looking for. Try to get out of it. You can, tell yourself, oh, I have to go grab something from the bathroom or go grab some food or something. You don't have to go back to that person. They'll probably move on and talk to someone else. This has happened to me before with people that are extremely awkward to talk to, where they just aren't saying anything and I feel like I'm asking all the questions. So sometimes I'm like, oh, it's really nice to meet you, and then you move on. You're not gonna be like friends and friendly with everyone you meet at a networking event, but you never know if those connections might help you in the future. Maybe that person was just really shy and they really like talking to you, and maybe they'll reach out to you afterwards. So don't ever knock the people that you felt like you didn't have as big of a connection with, but you definitely don't want to stay stuck with them if you really feel like they're not the person you're there to meet. And a quick reminder about that, people at networking events are there to network. So like, it might be kind of scary to go up to someone, but one of the things I always recommend is break the ice. One of the things I always say is, oh, have you tried the food yet? Or if they're holding the food, like, oh, how was that food? Or you could ask, have you been here before? Because you might be like, oh, this is a really cool place. If it's at like a co-working space or some sort of event center, that's a really great way to break the ice by just walking up to someone. It is harder to break into a conversation when like multiple people are talking, like in a group or just 2 people. So I try to find the ones that are by themselves. That's the best person to go up to because they're probably just as maybe nervous as you are. I am also the one at networking events. If I know someone and I know another person, I make the introduction. That's just the kind of person I am. I love networking events because I love connecting people to each other. So that's just something that I personally do a lot. Okay, the second tip to avoid is to not come prepared. One of the biggest things I see at networking events is I really like someone that I've met and I'd say, oh, I'd love to follow up with you. Do you have a card? And they don't have one. And I know I've actually forgotten my business cards before, but I really think having business cards is really important just so that, it is a way to connect with people. Obviously, business cards over the years have gotten less important because of social media. You can connect with people, but for me, it is helpful if I kind of forgot that person's name. I love to have a virtual business card as well. If I'm talking to someone, I'm not kidding, I will ask them to follow me on Instagram. Like, I was like, oh, can you grab your phone? Like, I'll follow you on Instagram, you can follow me back. It's the best way to actually capture their information because their Instagram is basically like an online profile for them. So that's just something that I recommend doing. Instagram is basically where I run my entire business. So if they're following me on Instagram, it's a great way to connect with me. Another part of not being prepared is a lot of people don't know what to say when they're like, oh, what do you do? That is like the most asked question that I ask and that I'm asked. And so having somewhat of an elevator pitch, I hate that word because it sounds so like 1980s, but just having like, what do you do and how to say what you do in a matter of words without taking 2 hours to talk about what you do. Explain what you do and how you help people and what you offer. That's it. Like just say, oh, I help Twin Cities based entrepreneurs and creatives connect with each other and grow their influence with Instagram marketing and coaching. That's literally it. And then they will be like, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. I will do the same if they do something like that as well. That's just my quick elevator pitch. That's like literally a sentence. And a lot of the times I talk about all the things that I offer and people are super interested because it's something that will help them. So make sure that you talk about things that will help them and not just yourself. So the third one is not following up. This is a mistake a lot of people make. So you meet someone at a networking event, and if you don't follow up with them, it's almost like you never met them at all. So adding them on LinkedIn, sending them an email, adding them on Instagram, maybe even Facebook, those are all great ways to connect with someone afterwards. I would only connect with people you think that maybe you would maybe do a collaboration with, someone you think that you might hire, or maybe they'll hire you. There's a lot of different ways to connect, but you definitely need to follow up with people that you've met at networking events. Otherwise, there's really no point in going to them. All right, the fourth mistake is not asking them for anything. One of the things that you want to do at a networking event is get something from them. And I know that sounds really selfish, but really you're going for a reason. One of the things I always ask people is, oh, do you go into any other networking events? Because I like to know about all the networking events in town. So I always ask, oh, have you been to this event before? If they haven't, or if they have, I want to hear more about it. I want to ask them, oh, like, is there anyone that you think I should meet? Or do you know of anyone that is looking for Instagram help? Great one, because that's my target audience, and they might be like, oh, my friend has this new business, blah blah blah. I then follow them on Instagram, blah blah blah. They connect. Another thing, and this is number 5, is not providing them anything. So if you're just talking about yourself but not actually giving them any resources, that is kind of like so self-serving, and it's just not a best way to network and market yourself. Literally one of the first things I meet when I hear someone's story, hear what they do, my wheels are turning in my brain. I'm like, who could I connect them with that they need? They might not need me, but they might need someone I know. And just the fact that you do that for them will like make you like so special to them, because they're like, oh, this person connected me to the right person that I needed. I have a Rolodex in my head of people that I know that are super, super helpful, and people that are also super well connected, because if I introduce them to this one person, I know that that person will connect them to another connected person, and it'll be super helpful for them. So making sure that you give them something, not just ask for something. And that's the part of networking I never understood when I was in college. I thought it was just ask, take from someone. But really, my goal with networking is to give, and then ask. Because honestly, people will appreciate you way more when you give them information, and then you can eventually ask them and say, hey, like, I know we've been talking for a while. Do you know anyone that does this? You have to be the source of something that they need, and then they will love you. They will appreciate what you do for them, and they will be more than willing to help you back. I think this is just what building relationships is. Networking is a weird word. I prefer relationship building for business, because honestly, a lot of people that you meet at networking events, you might sit at another networking event, you'll remember their name, you'll remember who they are, and it's way easier to talk to them, and you're excited to talk to someone that you already know. So I love networking events so much, because I feel like I'm coming home every time I go to one, even if I don't know anyone there. So I hope that you've enjoyed what not to do at networking events. If you want to follow me at Twin Cities Collective on Instagram, we have a lot of events in the fall through the spring, and I absolutely love going to a lot of them around town. Thanks guys for watching, and hope you have a great day.